Alright, bitches, I'm back. Your favorite commentator, MC. If you didn't watch the first recap episode, why the fuck are you here then? Anyway, I played Dominic on Dropout Wizards, so let's go back into the recap, and I won't give any context because I assume you watched the last video like a normal person. This recap covers episodes 6 to 10, and once again, if you play on this campaign, get the fuck away from this video, seeing as there will be possible spoilers that even I, the recap master, don't know. So yeah, let's get into it. Mako had an encounter with Florence that showed just how insane this bitch is, because she's like obsessed with, our drunk therapist Pirate Gramps. I need a lot of adjectives, because Mako's a lot. Afterwards, the party began completing the list of chores, quests, that Aether assigned them to do if they wanted to be security for the hospital. We wanted to be security for the hospital. First task. The party delivered a letter from Aether to General Blanc, who recognized Ryan and Timmy as the children of her 3 past party mates, Aradia Draken, Zemea Fran, and Caladon Fran. It's fun to find out you have a brother in the middle of the apocalypse, right? Anyway, Timmy and Rai both recollected old memories of their parents, and General Blanc revealed that she has absolutely no clue what happened to their parents. Super helpful. She also gave the party a response letter to bring back to Aether, and she gifted a sheath to Rai so he can keep his sword in it, and a shield for Timmy that previously belonged to his mother. Afterwards, the party left the building to keep going in their list of approval quests. Next task. The party found their way to a place in which some of Blanc's soldiers had been held captive. On this trip, there were cool conversations, mysterious dreams, and other random shit. Anyway, the party had to fight some infected. Dominica flirted with one. I sometimes question the things I make her do. And they rescued the alive soldiers, sending them back to General Blanc.
Whilst Mako sleeps, he sees several people hanging from top ropes in a dark void. He is not raised by a rope and sees Florence standing in the center of these people. She criticizes Mako for not telling the party about his infection, and she also continues to guilt trip him about it. And Mako retaliates by telling her that there is no way to change the outcome of this. She tells him that he is ripping the party apart, and he tells her that she is alone. She brings up the girl that Mako orphaned, telling him that she is still looking for him. He asks her what her end goal is, and Florence says that she has the best intentions, and asks him if what he does makes him good. She brings up that Mako abandoned the orphan, and Mako tells her that she has ruined many lives, and Florence tells him that he's done the same. Mako begins to spiral into rage and tells Florence off, and she goes silent before vanishing.
And another task! The party arrived in the town of Adelport to investigate what was in the clogged tunnel, and spoiler alert, it was a full-on zombie clot. Really fucking ugly. So they fought it and killed it, barely. They almost fucking died. After this, they went to town and saw Mako's childhood home. It was cool. Final task! The party had to visit a warehouse and pretty much check what was going on and clear it of infected. They're a fucking pest. On their way to this warehouse, they found 3 bodies, and 2 rotting corpses belonging to Scarlet Eye members, and the body of Copper, a halfling that we recognized. The party took the corpses with them and kept going, but as they were about to walk in, a murderous infected Gug appeared. So they killed him. Sadly, because I really love Gug. And then they carried on into their warehouse, where they found weird infecteds that they also killed. When they returned from the quest, they found Mako screaming and shooting spells into the sky, which honestly is the whole ass mood. And he revealed that he has actually been infected this whole time. Dun dun dun! Man was bitten in the party's very first battle. Not only did he tell the party, but he also went ahead and told this truly shocking news to Aether, whose real name is Evelyn, apparently. Finally, we move to episode 10. Oh, episode 10, my beloved. The party started with some nice, well-deserved downtime. Mako delivered the teapot he was working on and a letter. Timmy went to the library and found info on Zemea and Caladon. V delivered Copper's corpse to her girlfriend, Cora, who wants to do some Frankenstein shit with her. Slay girl slay. And Rai had a conversation with a sword, as one does.
Rai enters the archives again, and he sees Fracture standing in the distance. Rai calls out to her, and she appears in front of him. He asks if she's angry at him, and he explains that he's worried about the path he's on that Fracture has shown him. Fracture gives some half-assed answer about how he must find it on his own. He asks about why she's just started showing him these visions now and is confused. She regrets not reaching out sooner, but she said that she had to make sure that he was strong enough to face Florence. She confesses that Rai is the last Draken and she can't afford to lose him to her. Rai confesses that he is concerned about everything that is at stake. He tells Fracture that he wishes that the party had just been strangers rather than people that he would have grown closer to. Fracture apologizes and tells him that she had to make sure he would be protected, and he asks about his father. And Fracture tells Rai that his parents were in love. He tells Rai that 3 years before Rai was born, his father fell in love with Smaya, Timmy's father, and the three tried to make things work together as a couple. But when Aradia became pregnant, she retired to the Breathing Woods, and his father never made the attempt to come and see him. Rai then leaves the archives. Whilst the party was making a game plan for the surgery, Dominica stepped out of the room to make a call to Belladonna. Dominica asks if Florence has returned to the Claw yet, and Belladonna says that she hasn't. Dominica believes her, and Belladonna says that none of the other wardens have been in contact with Florence, and Belladonna confirms that she is still being blackmailed by Florence with her brother. Dominica asks about Florence's power, and Belladonna confirms that she has control over the infected, and Belladonna says that it's like Florence puppets them around, speaks for them, but is never present. Belladonna is not sure if there's a range for this power, but Belladonna says that everyone Florence speaks to already has a seedling in their mind. Dominica asks if Belladonna knows why Florence has this power, and Belladonna hastily hangs up.
Once it was time for the surgery, the party decided to leave Mako outside of the operation room due to his condition. Aether ended up accidentally trapping the party in the floor the operation was supposed to happen on, and that's when shit went down. Florence possessed Mako, who died, and this caused a bunch of infected to be released into Cogsmeade. Everything was so chaotic, so the party escaped the hospital and ran back to Carrie's house to find it empty, but after looking around for a bit, they found a bloodied Epilura and the dead Adem Claymore. If you don't remember who he is, let me remind you. He's the doctor meant to perform the surgery, and someone Dominica tried to seduce and then stalked.
We then come to a small kitchen, free from the chaos. Sitting at the table is Mason, and entering the room is Duchess. Duchess and Mason have a short conversation about how they're doing, and the couple discuss the outside world and the things happening with Duchess's aunt. Duchess confirms that she's finished the job and says that she'll be going out to try to help the others in the city. Mason asks Duchess about the fire at the hospital, and Duchess confesses her hopes that the operation went well. The couple flirt with each other, and Duchess reveals her real name, Magnus. After this, Duchess heads out into the city.
In all the chaos, Dominica ended up finding Phineas, the person who the surgery was supposed to be performed on, running away in a gown, panicking. And he told her that it wasn't consensual. Oh no. Dropout Wizards endorses consent. Please don't be like Aether and Adem Claymore. So Dominica decided to keep Phineas. Don't worry, that was consensual. And hide him in Caradon's house. The rest of the party arrived at Cora's hideout, and she was there with Colt, but there was no sign of Trevor. Coming back, they ran into a stranger that ended up being Duchess. They found Trevor injured under a broken bridge and took him back to the hideout to heal him. Afterwards, they all regrouped in Caradon's house. Aether then decided to drop by the house, because she's a bitch, and revealed that she saw Mako get killed by someone in his infected state, and that she wants the party to find his murderer. We're the Avengers now, for real. She also gave a letter to Alcro and invited them to Mako's funeral, where things take a turn. And that was the recap for episodes 6 to 10 of Calamity. Once again, a lot. But watch our stream so you can get even more. Mwahahaha. Shameless promo. We're live on Sundays at 5 p.m. EST on YouTube. Hope to see you there. And remember, nothing bad ever happens to Calamity.